Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's live. It's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. So we got the Red Rifle. Let's just call him Red Rocket and Big Dick Nick. We got two dicks at quarterback, depending on what you want to do with it. And a bunch of other moves have been made. And, a lot of people are up in arms. Some people are pissed about certain players and this and that. We're going to get into all that today. We're going to try to lay it flat. We'll tell you what we're upset about. We'll tell you where we think we missed. But we'll also tell you, because, we're a couple of finalists, that the arrow is fucking pointing up somehow. We'll find a way to make this fucking shit smell like roses. First, let me bring you Mr. Ryan Badgley. Badge of honor, Badge. What's up, my dude?
What is up, Bobby Bombs, AC, Aldo Gandia chilling in the back as always, kicking it for us, man. And man, it's been an interesting week, man. Just ready to talk about it. Maybe look to what the other possibilities are. I mean, there's just a lot to get into, man, and we're gonna do that for you this morning.
Absolutely, man. And I'll mention it a little later, but like I told Badge earlier, it always seems that like when we get to these seasons or these off seasons, right? There's either off seasons where we're like this, fucking Bears 100, fucking Super Bowl, bitch, right? And then we're like, fuck, whack, and like we're 3-13, right? And then we get to off seasons where all of Bears fandom and all of us are like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. Our team's horrible, like. I can't believe they did this and that and this and you don't even deserve our following and all this shit. And then they're like, fucking boom, 13-3, and we're like, yeah, go Bears, the best thing ever. So hopefully it's one of those things, man. But we'll see. Next we got the bearded Bears fan, AC Aaron Current. What's up, dude? The Big Blue Nation. Big Blue Nation. I see it.
Yeah, I try to throw a little something up because I'm tired of looking at these prison walls. See, I got my ball over here and my Urlacher jersey hanging a little bit. But, yeah, it's been a crazy week for me, man. 316 day. I threw on my Austin 316 shirt. I was ready to kick some ass and take some names. And then we signed Andy Dalton, and it kind of brought me down and ruined my 316 day. And someone tried to hack into my Facebook account, so that was fun. I tried all week to get it back, and finally I just had to make a brand new one yesterday. So I've lost everything from the last decade or so since I made my Facebook. So that's fun.
Man, man, all of it's gone. The best thing about it,
all my pictures and all that shit.
That's it, man. Like
it's gone.
Yeah, and I know, like, for you, you're probably in the same, like, boat that I am, man. Like, all your old military buddies, that's the only place where you find the majority of them is on Facebook or one of that, because people go into fucking hiding when they get out, man. Like, dudes just, they fall off the earth, dude. And, and then you'll see one pop up, like, 4 years later, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
He's got a beard and he smokes weed every day.
Yeah, he's like, "What's up, bro?"
I don't trust the government.
You act like there's a problem with that.
No, they're like hiding in the fucking mountains, man. Some of these dudes are fucking. You're already locked into their scope. They're just waiting to fucking pull the trigger. Well, hopefully you get it back, man. Hopefully, I don't know, like Facebook or something.
Well, I'm finding people again, so. My pictures are all gone, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get this thing started. And I think, I know Badge kind of already talked about this on the day that it happened on the quick reaction show. Let's get this thing started and move it into some Andy Dalton, some the thoughts, where he's at with everything. We've seen the presser, right? He came in, he's kind of like, I think Hogue or Johns asked him in the presser, like, do you think, competing with Nick Foles, is that going to be different than competing with Dak or whatever for the starting job? And he's like, oh, I'm the starter. I was, at least that's what I was told. I'm the starter coming in. I think Foles is on the table too. I know he's got no trade clause, and he's got all that, but I don't think that the team believes that he's going to be on the squad this season. I think they believe he's going to be gone. AC, I know we already heard from Badge. What's your what was your instant reaction to the Dalton signing, and where are you at with it now? Like your kid fucking dropped his pants and shit on the floor last week. Like, I know you were pissed when it happened, but where are you at with it right now?
I mean, I was so pissed. Y'all heard me. I was all in on Russell Wilson, and we missed. Apparently, swung and missed. And I mean, if they're not going to take 3 firsts, a third, and 2 starters, I mean, what more are you going to offer? You know what I'm saying? So at first I was so angry because I watched Andy Dalton for several years right up here in Cincinnati, and he was always good, but not incredible. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, does he really bring the Bears to another level? And I'm still not sure if he does or not, but I looked up some statistics because when we signed Dalton, the top 4 free agents was Dalton, Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, and Mitchell Trubisky. So I sent those statistics to Aldo to put in the show today. And here's Mitch's numbers. I mean, his best year's 2019. He had 31, 38, 17, and 10. And I think that same year, if he can bring up Andy Dalton next to it, Dalton had 34-94 with 16 and 14, which, I mean, 2 more touchdowns than interceptions. But Dalton has a much better track record overall. I mean, it's a much larger sample size as well, but he took some. I mean, look at that 4,200-yard season. You know, we've never had that in Chicago. He took some bad Cincinnati teams to the playoffs. And then after him, there was some people like Jacoby Brissett, but I feel like if he was that great, they would have just kept him in Indy and not brought in Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying? They knew what they had in him, and they decided to move on from him. And then there's Tyrod Taylor, who's bounced around the league. You know, so you can see right there, he's been in Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore with the Chargers. He got stabbed in the lung, so that kind of killed his season there. But when I sat back and looked at it after cooling down, I realized that the red rifle was the best thing that we had that we could have picked up at that time. And I just feel like they said, we're not going to bring back Mitch because we've already burned that bridge. And these other guys are kind of mediocre. We better hop on Andy Dalton because he's the best thing out there, as opposed to what we saw with Nick Foles last year. And Andy Dalton does have some sneaky athleticism. He's not Mitch, but he's not Foles as far as a statue in the pocket. And
we were saying that earlier, kind of prior to the show. Badge and I were talking about this. So I think Mitch is obviously more athletic, right? I mean, I think everybody knows that Mitch is more athletic than Dalton is, but I think Dalton's just a smarter quarterback, man. I think
he can actually read a defense.
Yeah, and I think he's got a stronger arm, and I think he's a smarter quarterback. I think the bridge was burned with Mitch, right? And there was no possible way for him to even though he signed a minimal contract up in Buffalo, I think there was no possible way for that. And why would he want to, man? Like the way that the city they booed this kid from day one. Yeah. Day one at the Bulls game, this kid was getting booed and fucking I mean, why would they even want to bring him, or why would he even want to stay? And then I seen the bottom line had, Dalton, the 10 million, whatever, that's already been kicked down the road too. So it's a $10 million deal with a chance to earn another 3 million incentives. But this year we've already kicked it 2 years down the road. So,
and those other guys got about the Tyrod Taylor and Jacoby Brissett. I don't know their exact numbers. I believe Tyrod got 12.5 million in Houston, which with what's going on with Watson now, he might be the starter for that price. And then I'm not sure what Jacoby's price was. I haven't looked up his numbers, but the 10 million, it's about what you're going to pay for a quarterback. I mean,
well, this year we're only giving Dalton 5.3 for this year.
Right.
And then We kicked another 4 to the following year, and then 3 to the next year. 7 of it was signing bonus. So, yeah, there's a lot of incentives he can learn. And the other thing that I like is, I think Dalton is the experience, is the the veteran to be like, Matt, like, that fucking place sucks, or hey, Bill, we're not doing that, or like, or like, hey, fuck, check, look, this dude just called a fucking pass, like, hey, Montgomery, you ready, dude? Because I'm just gonna give this to you. Fucking line block, let's go, get a push, fucking, or something like that. I don't think Mitch really started doing that until his comeback tour. So I think we're gonna get a different perspective out of all this. I would really love to ask Allen Robinson how he feels about this quarterback situation now compared to before. But I highly doubt he would just come out and say it. Badge, go ahead, let the people know, man. What are your thoughts now? They had your instant reaction. What are your thoughts now with Dalton and the signing?
I mean, this is the best quarterback to ever throw to Allen Robinson. So, there's a plus. The thing that, we talked about Jacoby Brissett. The thing that, why I would have liked to have kicked the tires on Brissett is because the season that he started when Andrew Luck retired, he started off really well. He looked like a different quarterback than he had at the other places he had been. Yeah. And then he gets injured and he's out for the rest of the season and you don't see him again. And I think the Colts were afraid that he wouldn't be able to bounce back from that injury. And that's why and plus here you had a chance to acquire Phillip Rivers, who to me, I think is a Hall of Famer. But like I said, in my pop-in with Mike and Eldo the other day on the Mike North Advantage, it was the best option. And while, I'm still not sold, it's the final quarterback piece that's going to drop. Right now, I mean, he's a guy who, you looked at his numbers there, that 4,200 yard season, he only threw 18 touchdown passes. So, he put up a bunch of yards, but it doesn't look like he helped them put up a lot of points. So it'll be interesting.
Who was their running back? You know what I mean?
Well, and that too. And then with our red zone struggles, is he going to be able to help us overcome the struggles in the red zone, not being able to find an open Allen Robinson in the red zone? And, those goal line plays where you're seeing other quarterbacks throwing fades to A-Rob, that's something Mitch struggled with. Well, you get Foles in here, you didn't really see it with him either. We still struggled in those goal line situations. So I really hope Andy Dalton can change that around.
Yeah, and I agree, man. I don't think he's the popular choice, but I think he was the best that was currently available. My thing with Jacoby Brissett was like, do I think he's a valuable backup? I do. I think he's a valuable backup. But right now, we kind of have a backup that we can't even get rid of if we wanted to. It's totally up to him. I mean, Brissett's had his shot. Brissett's had chances to take over the starting job at a couple places. And then Indy decided, Indy decided like, hey, he's just not the answer. Let's go out and do a 1-year contract on a fucking dude who's 40, whatever. He's not Tom Brady, old man Rivers, and give it to him. And I think Brissett is a good backup piece. But I would say, so let me ask you guys this, and chat, let me ask you too. Are we in a better position right now with Andy Dalton and Nick Foles than we were last year with Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles? Badge, over to you, man.
No, I think we're in the same exact position that we were in, quite honestly. I actually think we're worse off if you look at the team as a whole, but sticking to the quarterback, I think we're in the same boat.
What about you, AC?
If we're looking at the quarterback room, I think we're a marginal amount better, just a tad, because as we said earlier,
I say that because we don't have Tyler Bray anymore.
Yeah. Well,
Andy Dalton, I feel like, can read defenses, and Mitch has not shown the ability to do that thus far in his career. They had to cut the field in half for him to be successful, and they never did that in Cincinnati for Dalton. They just kind of opened it up. And but as a team as a whole, other than the quarterback position, I'm a little worried, honestly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think just quarterback position alone, I think we are a step above. And you're on a fucking, you're in the damn ladder well, the little stairway, man, and you got 13 floors to go, and you're just one step above than where you were before. But as a team, I don't know. I think as a team, yeah, we're in a worse position, but I don't think the bottom is dropped out worse position. You know what I mean? There's things that could have happened. There's guys that we could have got. There's guys we could have cut. I think the Kyle Fuller, and we can move into Kyle Fuller. I think Kyle Fuller, I don't know how there wasn't a trade available. I don't know how they couldn't at least just drop him like, hey, Denver, look, Vic, we know you want him. I'll give him to you for a 5th and a conditional 6th, or whatever, or something along those lines, a 4th and a conditional 5th that could be a 6th or whatever. I don't know how there was not an offer for that. And then they bring in Desmond Trufant, right, to kind of fill the void on a 1-year deal. And even us guys talking and in our little thread, I think we all know there's going to be a bunch of 1-year deals, man. There's going to be a bunch of 1-year deals that come out, and that's how we're going to fill this team this year. AC, what are your thoughts on Desmond Trufant and all that, man?
I hate seeing Kyle Fuller go. And I wish we could have got something for him, but from the Broncos' standpoint, why would they give up a draft pick if they know this guy's about to be cut? If they know he's about to hit the open market and you can get him without giving up draft capital, why wouldn't you just wait? So that's what they did, and I don't blame them at all. Trufant worries me because he's had injury concerns, and that doesn't help us. And not only are we doing the 1-year deals, you're seeing it throughout the NFL. And that's because of the salary cap going down. And then they announced that big TV deal. So next year, this salary cap is going to explode. So players are out here betting on themselves. I'll play for 1 year and then get a big deal next year. And I think that's the situation we're in right now.
Yeah, I think that's a smart situation. I think that's what needs to be done right now for a lot of these players, because who knows how high this thing is going to skyrocket next year. ATF thinks the Bears are totally fucked up. So, hey, who knows? He said the Clovers is saying a Jets fan laughed at him.
And in their defense, we haven't seen Matt Nagy, his system, be able to work. Badge has touched on it multiple times, and now
I feel like that's all I say.
Right, and now we're going into this partial rebuild, even though they're not calling it a rebuild. It's obviously a rebuild when you're starting to get rid of your older players on the defensive side of the ball, and the guy that they're trusting to do this rebuild, Ryan Pace, is the same guy who put us in position to have to rebuild because he traded up for Mitch. And there was 3 good quarterbacks in that draft, and he traded up for Mitch. And then he backloaded all the other contracts because he thought Mitch was going to be on his rookie deal. We can do something with that. And it didn't work out. I don't know why they're still here. And I don't know why they trust them to do this rebuild unless they hope Nagy can find another Mahomes this offseason.
I think that was the super, like they thought that they were fucking heading to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So push everybody's contracts back a little bit. Whatever you see normally after a Super Bowl, a lot of teams dismantle quick because they've paid so much money and whatever. And then teams that make it to the Super Bowl and lose, sometimes they do the same thing and they have to dismantle and start dropping pieces. And I think they really bought into the madness that was in Chicago and the 100-year and this and that, and we're fucking unstoppable, and they come out and get punched in the damn mouth, and then
we were a kicker away, guys.
Yeah. I think we were. Oh, look at this guy!
Wow.
Look at this guy.
Joining the show this morning is Mr. Alex Schultz. Trey Busy. Trey, dude, long time, man. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey guys, what's going on? How you guys doing today?
Doing great,
good, man. All right, so obviously let me get your instant reaction to Dalton. Man. Your instant reaction, and then where you're at now. Kind of like I told AC a little while ago. Like,
so,
go ahead.
I was going to say the whole reason I'm here is because I had a complete meltdown on Twitter. I had a meltdown on Twitter when the Kyle Fuller news came out. Before he was officially released, I had a complete meltdown to the point where I think I was drunk already because I was streaming on Twitch. I got drunk, and it's like it came out, and I was like, "Oh no, bro." Not like this. I literally went off on a rant for like fucking 2 hours straight, just all caps. Every other word was F-bomb. Just what the fuck are we fucking doing? You got these fucking idiots, and just I was going off. But to reiterate what you guys are saying about Andy Dalton, that's like literally the most lateral move I've ever seen this front office make. Like you're not getting better at all. Like you're not getting more stable. That's literally just like a less athletic Trubisky coming into and I get it. He has experience, and I get it. He has a relationship with the offensive coordinator from their time in Cincinnati, and that's all fine and dandy or whatever they want to make us, feel good about the move. But to me, I just don't get it. I don't see it. I know that we were kind of, like big on the that Russell Wilson thing, man. It's like it seemed too good to be true, right? Like we were all like, man. Yeah. Come on, it's a letdown, now it's our fault for getting excited about that. But the fact that they were put in a position to try to fix a situation that they put us in was kind of, redundant. I didn't understand that at all. I don't understand why they didn't clear the office and none of that. But Andy Dalton is just not it, man. I just don't get it. You already got him. You basically got Andy Dalton on the roster already, so you go get another one. Like Nick Foles and Andy Dalton, what's the difference between them? Honestly,
he can move a little bit better.
I mean, I was kind of on the same shit. And I don't know if you heard, prior to hopping in, but I definitely think Dalton is a smarter quarterback than Trubisky. I think Trubisky is way more athletic. I think Trubisky, the pressure, right? The pressure gets to him more than it gets to somebody like Dalton, but I think that fucking Trubisky gets in his own head, man, and fucking, kind of self-implodes on some of this shit. Go ahead. What you got?
I will respect the fuck out of Ryan Pace if he just came out and said that he was trolling this whole time. Like if he came out and said he was trolling the Chicago Bears organization and this was all just like a ploy to see how many laughs he can get with him and his buddies. He got a couple of buddies from their frat time, something like that. You know what? I just want to troll the hell out of an NFL team. I will respect the shit out that man because that would make so much sense. Every move he's made regarding the quarterback would make so much sense if he came out and said he was just trolling this whole time.
Do you see us? Are we drafting a quarterback round 1 with the 20, or is it still BPA?
Man, bro, you just don't. You know what? I think he is going to trade up. I think he can't help himself. I think he's going to get there, and I'm not sure who's going to probably slide into the the double digits. I'm thinking maybe Trey will. Maybe. I'm not sure. Some people were saying there's people that think Justin Fields will. If he falls into the the tens and just like, please go get him. There's no reason for him to fall that far. Yeah. Mac Jones, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like Pace is going to do it, man. He can't help himself. I feel like he's going to do it.
I think he should. You got to have a quarterback, and I mean, you touched on Justin Fields and Trey Lance and Mac. Those are the three that'll be. I think Mac Jones is going to be within striking distance, and everyone who's watched this show knows that's the guy I've had my eyes on. And the reason why is Trey Lance only played for one season. Now, it's not his fault that the team opted out this season, but that's going to hurt him. And look, Trubisky, we all flew off the handle because he played one season when we drafted him second overall. And Justin Fields, though he put up a lot of crazy ass numbers when he played Northwestern and Indiana, who's teams that are defensive minded teams first, he struggled. I think he threw 3 picks against Indiana, and they had a really close game. I mean, they ended up winning, but that worries me. Unless you can let him sit, which I guess is where Dalton comes into play. If you draft a Justin Fields, he's got all the tools. You just got to let him sit and try to learn the offense, learn the NFL game.
If you draft Justin Fields, there's no way that the fucking fans and the media and all that let him sit behind an Andy Dalton.
Okay.
Or a Nick Foles, man.
So you put him in, and he struggles. And then what happens when the Bears fans boo him at a Bulls game again because he struggles on the field because he's not ready yet?
No, Mitch wasn't even on the field. Mitch wasn't even on the
Mitch
field.
was booed before he even fucking training camp.
That motherfucker had never even seen Hallis Hall, and that bitch was getting booed. You know, he didn't even know where it was. He thought it was a fucking hallway going into the United Center.
Hey, Bob, that motherfucker ain't even signed his contract yet. He was
you know what I mean?
He was getting booed fucking game. That's so bad.
It is, man. And I don't know. Do you think so, Trey? Are you on this? You know, that this whole like everything's falling apart, or
for sure. They're literally flex taping the fuck out of that damn team right now. You kidding me? Motherfuckers are flex gluing the fuck out at the team right now. The team is falling apart everywhere. There's holes everywhere, man. It's like the best players are getting older, right?
Yep.
But they're not being replaced. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not getting replaced. Defensive line has some serious talent, right? That's why I'm not really too worried. The Keem Hicks thing is gonna hurt from a heart standpoint because he's a great guy. We love him as a player. But talent-wise, you know, Eddie Goldman's coming back. Bilal Nichols taking that step. You know, they brought Mario Edwards back. Talent-wise, just straight on defense. Heart-wise, Akeem Hicks is our boy. Akeem Hicks is our boy.
Yeah. Brad Biggs said that there's no longer Akeem's no longer on the table, and he's no longer a cut piece. That he's going to be back next year. Granted, take that for what it's worth, right? Because you also heard that fucking Watson was coming here, and you also heard that fucking Russ was on his way, and the deal's almost done, and whatever. But you didn't hear that shit from Biggs. I think he's been pretty spot on.
Biggs been on point for sure.
Yeah,
he's been on point. But I was gonna say, like when I said teams holding things together with flex tape, that's Desmond Trufant. That's a flex tape move.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You get rid of a fucking all-pro corner, and people on Twitter, I'm telling you, man, like I had to log out because there was people coming in my mentions saying stupid shit like, oh, he only had 1 interception last year.
They don't throw his way.
You not know how playing cornerback in the NFL works? Like, what do you mean? Yeah. If he only has 1 interception, that means they're scared of him. Right, and then he's getting so many pass breakups. He's making plays in the run game. I mean, Jesus Christ, what else do you ask for in a player? He doesn't get in trouble with the media. He barely talks. Team loves him. The young players look up to him. I mean, what the fuck do you need, right? What else do you want from him? And you cut him. That's.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Too the young guy said he was, I mean, a tape messiah. Like that's what he spent his free time doing, was watching tape to make himself a better player. And what you saw transpire on the field last season was that player. I mean, you look at the first part of the season, he wasn't really targeted much at all. And then finally, like that Tampa Bay game, he gets targeted, right? And look what he does. Like, boom, he makes the big hit late in the game to get the Bears the ball back to force the fumble. That's the type of player that he is and the type of guy that he is. And now you're just letting that walk away for a guy who didn't step on the field last season for much. And Desmond Trufant, I mean, to me, if you guys look at this, Trey, AC, is Trufant coming in to be the number 1? So Jalen Johnson's still the 2?
Well,
I mean, I don't see it that way. To me, I think Jalen's your 1, and then I'm putting Kendall Vildor on the other side. And then to me, I would either put Duke, or you've got one of these guys like Xavier Crawford, somebody like that who Crawford in the I don't see Trufant coming in and being the automatic number one.
No, fuck no. If the best case scenario, he gets cut. AC, he's cut at training camp.
I think what they did when it came down to Fuller versus Hakeem, having to keep one of them and get rid of one of them. I've been watching the NFL Network all week, and there's a show called Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks where they're going over draft guys, and they just straight up asked them, what's the weakest part of this class? And they said defensive line. So you have to keep Akeem Hicks because you're not going to be able to replace that with the draft. Whereas corner, it's not like the wide receiver or the offensive tackle class this year, but corner's pretty deep too. There's some guys you can grab in the second, third round. I talked to the guys earlier this week about a guy named Adebo out of Stanford. He's a really good corner that we could grab, or one of my guys, Kelvin Joseph, right here in Kentucky. I'd love to see him in a Bears uniform. So I feel like they felt like they could not replace him completely through the draft, but it'd be easier to try to make up for what they lost in him than it would be to try and make up for Akeem Hicks, because this draft class is so weak. And even though they won't come out and say it, we are in a rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, and I was going to say another thing, man, it's like replacing Kyle Fuller is going to be damn near impossible, bro. Like, I mean, the guy was like, he was combed into being that player. He didn't just step on the field and be that player. He became that player over time. You know, it was at the point where he understood subtle nuances of the game, like when to grab a jersey or something like that. You catch Kyle doing this shit, the refs ain't catch him. But he just knew certain ways just to get over on wide receivers. He knew their route running. He knew what their favorite, routes were to run. He knew where to be at, where the football was coming from the quarterback. We saw when he got an interception in that Lions game for the big, like that motherfucker Kyle Fuller, man. You're not gonna replace him. Not immediately. Not immediately. And God bless Jalen Johnson, man. I love it. He's talented, bro. He's very talented. But that fucking shoulder, man.
Right.
Come on now.
That's exactly what I was going to touch on. He didn't make it through the season last year. That was his concerns coming out in the draft, was the shoulder, and then it hit him again. I don't know, man.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
Are we trying to let my man's Devontae Adams run for fucking catch for 300 yards on us? Like what are we doing here?
I just, the thing to me with this quarterback room now is experience. You really don't have a lot of it at this point now. I mean, Kyle, he was a guy who, with Sean Desai coming in here, who took a lot from Vic Fangio, you would have thought that, hey, this is perfect. This is a guy who liked what Vic Fangio did here and probably had his best seasons under Vic. Sean Desai likes what Vic did, was going to have a similar type scheme. Now that's gone, and now Kyle goes back now with Vic Fangio again. Next year, where's he going to be? Again. Yeah, he's going to be a fucking Pro Bowler again.
Yeah.
And, we're going to be sitting here with egg on our face, 3-13, fucking still with Pace and Nagy, because I'm pretty sure what you're seeing, guys, is at least Ryan Pace been extended. That's how it looks to me based on the moves that have been made up to this point, is that I'm not sure about Nagy yet, but Ryan Pace looks to me like he's not going anywhere.
Those are not the moves of a man that has his back against the wall for sure. Let's get rid of our best secondary player for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Let's get rid of our best secondary player, and then let's go ahead and get it back going. Let's replace him with Desmond Trufant. Oh, I'm gonna dangle Akeem Hicks on the trade line a little bit and see if I can get something for him. Oh, you know what? Never mind. We're gonna keep him. Yeah. Right? Hey, Mitch, fuck you. Get out of here. Okay, come on, Andy Dalton. Come on, redhead Mitch. That's less athletic.
Redhead Mitch.
What are we doing here, bro? Like,
it's a little ginger Mitch.
Ginger Mitch, right?
little ginger ass Mitch. So I know, like Badger's saying. So with Desai, right? I mean, I don't think the defense, granted, Kyle Fuller is the biggest fucking loss, I think, all the way around, right? But I don't think the defense fell off that far. If they can get Robert Quinn to step it up, and actually do something. You know, I don't know how bad. I mean, I can't comment on a man's talent, right? I think he was great in Dallas. I think he did a hell of a job, man. And if this, I don't know what drop foot is or how that shit messes you up, but if that's the real reason why this dude couldn't get it together, hopefully that's fixed, right? But I mean, that front seven is still freaking beast mode, man.
Roquan Smith.
Yeah, Roquan, and we had kind of mentioned this earlier, in earlier shows, but I would have rather lost Fuller than Roquan.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I would have. We had people in the chat saying like, hell no, like they'd give up Roquan before they gave up Mac. I would give up Mac before I gave up Roquan. I'm keeping Roquan in Roquan. Chicago for until he's 32 and can't get sideline to sideline anymore, or can't do any of that. But we really have to hope at this point, because Trufant's not the fucking answer, right? I mean, Stafford's out of the division, so there might not be any stats put up on on the DBs that bad. But
I saw a meme that had Aaron Rodgers just smiling. It was like, when you see your quarterback competition in the division this year, I'm like, yep. I mean, yep.
It's maddening. I guess the thing for me at this point is quarterback. So you tried, and again, this is just the rumor we saw. I think it was from Schefter that said it was Akeem Hicks and Kyle Fuller were the two pieces to go to Seattle. Well, let's now fast forward to the draft, and now Pace is again trying to get Russell Wilson. Well, Kyle Fuller's gone. So now who's that second defensive starter that goes to Seattle? If that's part of, a similar package now at the draft, now that Seattle can say, all right, well, we want your 20th pick because we want to use it to move up and get this guy. Or you move up, get this guy, draft him for us, and we'll trade you Russell, but we also want Mac or Roquan, or who are the other pieces now on this defense that you can include in that trade?
Well, Mac just restructured, so I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah, it would be Jalen Johnson, man. I don't think the Bears would let go of Roquan, and I think Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, our secondary would be depleted.
Yeah, we're gonna have Shelley and Vildor roll out there then.
Hey, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't give a shit if we get Russell Wilson. We're gonna outscore the fuck out of teams.
That's a good possibility.
Fuck it. They're gonna be 36 to 28.
They'll be throwing to your boy Jimmy Graham out there for $10 million.
Allen Robinson, come on. I mean, that motherfucker had the best career year ever with Russell Wilson throwing the football. Darnell Mooney go to Pro Bowl for sure.
Yeah. Man, that's another thing. When I was watching those Dalton highlights that the Bears put up, he hit CeeDee Lamb on some of those deep passes, and I was like, man, I could just see number 11 streaking. How many times do we see him streaking down the field and get overthrown or thrown way off to the right or the left? And I know, granted, these are highlights, so I didn't watch the full games. I don't watch Cowboys games a lot, but I mean, if he can get hit deep consistently, look out, man. And Dalton had AJ Green
to be able to do too, guys. I mean, not for nothing, but Foles was supposed to be able to throw the deep ball, and he fucking was awful.
If he would have been more mobile, I think he would have been better. I think he got hit so many freaking times, he started seeing shadows in the pocket and people that weren't there, and then he just started just flicking it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened.
During that losing streak we went on, a few games we lost in a row, man. That motherfucker Foles couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat, man.
Yeah.
That's how bad he was.
I mean, and he came out like fucking, you know what I mean? Like, just ready, man. That dude came into that Atlanta game and he did. He tore it up, man. And
that dime that he threw to Anthony Miller right there to win it.
Yeah, the motherfucker just premature ejaculated everywhere because he came in and tore it up, and that was it, man. It was over quick. I mean, he had one quarter, and it was over. The next 6 games were just shit shows. And, and from there, we sat with where we were all last year, man. So I'll tell you what I kind of fear is, and I want it to happen. I just don't want the second part to happen. Is we take a quarterback, right? We get one of these promising kids, and then we fuck him over. Kind of like no development, no nothing. Matt tries to give this kid a book this big to learn in fucking however many weeks, and we just mess this kid's mind up and don't let him develop into an NFL talent. Because I think one of the main things the Bears do fail to do is develop some of these kids into strong talents. Yeah.
I don't think Mitch had it upstairs to be able to learn NFL playbook like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not going to be the same issue with the other kids. Like if we would have got Mahomes or Watson, that wouldn't have been an issue for them to understand the playbook. I don't think so.
Right.
For them being multiple year starters in college and playing a pro style offense, and I think they would have been able to understand the playbook. I just don't think Mitch had it. I think, and not to be not trying to be funny, but I just don't think he was smart.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between being smart and being football smart. Like
I don't think he was either one.
He didn't beat.
not trying to be funny though. I really honestly swear to God, I don't think he had it, bro.
Yeah. The guy in front of him at North Carolina couldn't cut it in the CFL, so
that's
he couldn't beat him out.
That's my point.
Yeah, so you might be right on track there, Troy.
Yeah, and I kind of said it earlier. I think Dalton mentally is way better than Mitch, and that's not even.
Oh yeah,
that's not even a lot. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't put him way far ahead of him, but he's mentally. I think he can diagnose a defense and run the playbook better than Mitch can. And granted, the playbook's fucking in shambles anyway, but I just think
it's all over Nagy's walls. He's getting ready for the draft.
Yeah, that's his winning playbook of the day that he's got on his walls. If you guys don't know what AC's talking about, in the media when COVID all started and Nagy stopped doing pressers from Hallis Hall and was doing them from his basement, he hangs up the play sheet of each game he's won on his walls.
They showed it on draft night. They cut to him on draft night. And he had them all over the walls.
I mean, look, if it was me, I would hang up the play sheets of every game I fucking lost so I could look at them and know where I need to correct and what I messed up instead of hanging up the ones I won and patting myself on the back for doing jack shit.
So Bobby, no more tight end jet sweeps at the goal line. We're not running no more tight end jet sweeps.
I mean, Jesus. Yeah. Trying to be tricky, man.
So awful. Then to show it, first off, to then still decide to fucking run it after you couldn't get it squared away before the fucking timeout. It's like watching Pee Wee football, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, Trey, you got anything on these guys that we've lost? On Roy Robb, on some of these guys. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know.
Roy Robb was a monster, man. I hate that we lost Roy Robertson Harris, man. He was, that guy, we saw him develop into that, right? He started off as a outside linebacker and they switched his position, put him on D-line. He put on some weight. I think he was red-shirted his first year here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He was red-shirted, put on weight, became a defensive lineman, and we saw him develop under Jay Rodgers into a very, very, very serviceable starter in the NFL, as you could tell by the amount of money Jacksonville gave him. They saw something on film. They was like, yep, we need to pay that guy. Come on down. Right. Yeah. They saw him as a valuable piece. And he wasn't that when he first came here. He was developed into that.
Yeah.
So
I think he was he's a UDFA out of UTEP, right?
Yep.
Out of UTEP.
Undrafted free agent.
Yeah. And so look, here's my thing on Roy Robb. I think Chicago loved him a lot more than the rest. He was a homegrown a talent that everybody here loved. I just don't think he impacted the game as much as Chicago fans believe. And that's just my stance. That's just my stance on it. And I mean, when he went out, he was out for 8 weeks last year. Maybe less, maybe it was 6, but
8 weeks.
I didn't see a total drop off with him being out, right? Mario Edwards, I think, came in and made more splash plays and did more than Roy Robb did.
And Nichols.
Yeah, I think that those are the pieces there. But this dude, and here it is, perfect timing. This dude went over to Jacksonville, signed a $28 million contract with 14 guaranteed. to go down to what, tax-free to go down to Florida.
And Jacksonville is a team that just drafted the last 2 drafts. They drafted, I think it was K'Lavon Chaisson out of LSU and my guy Josh Allen out of Kentucky. So they drafted for defensive end, and then I guess they weren't happy with what they were getting, so they had to go out and pay Roy Robb. And I loved Roy Robb. He was a good rotational piece, but they overpaid. They overpaid for his services.
He's serviceable. Like I said, I never say he's not a splash player. He's a serviceable in the run game. He's a serviceable. Every now and then he'll get back there and make a play in the pass game. Every now and then he's a serviceable starter in the NFL. He could start, but he's not like you said, he's not a Akeem Hicks type player. Like he's not even Mario Edwards was like, man, Mario Edwards was very effective last year. That's why he got paid what he did. He's not Bilal Nichols. Bilal Nichols to me might be our Eddie Gomez coming back. Bilal Nichols might be our most I don't want to say important. That's not the word I want to use. But as far as like he could play multiple positions across the line very effectively for someone that was a 5th round pick, bro. Like they developed the shit out of Bilal Nichols.
I think he was misused here, quite honestly. Like I think they had him put on weight and moved him inside, and I felt like he would have been better suited, being outside. Personally speaking, he just to me. I got to watch him 2 seasons ago in the preseason against the Giants. He was playing 3rd string for us in a preseason game, and he murdered the center and got a sack on whoever the Giants quarterback was back then. And I'm like, wow, that's a great play. But then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, this man is 6'7", 295 pounds. And he's lining up for us as a 3rd stringer and, making a play against a backup quarterback. Those were the type of things I expected to see from him against Corey Linsley or, starting players. And I didn't see it from him. Now, I will say this. He hits the quarterback. Granted, he doesn't, the sacks don't show up. I think he led the team only playing in 8 games last year in quarterback pressures. So he's close to getting there. Now, if he can take that to that next level in Jacksonville and he can start getting to the quarterback before he releases the ball, I mean, hey, you never know. But here, I wanted more from him, and I just didn't see it.
And he might be better suited for a 4-man front, too. I mean,
is he gonna go? Is he gonna go have a Leonard Floyd season?
Everybody seems to when they leave here, don't
never know. It seems like when you leave here, that's when everything seems to work out for you.
Yeah,
it clicks, right?
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't have much on this dude either, and I know he's been in the league a while. What about basically the Roy Robb replacement that we brought in, Angelo Blackson, coming over from Arizona? What are your guys' thoughts? I don't know if you guys seen any tape or if you've watched anything yet. What are your guys' thoughts on this dude coming in?
I looked him up as soon as we signed him because I had never heard of him, honestly. And I guess the Titans drafted him out of Auburn. He's got a touchdown catch, so watch out for that with Matt Nagy.
That's probably why he was fucking signed right there. Is because he got a fucking touchdown pass.
But most of his highlights,
I could punch you in the face right now, AC. I would.
Hey, he's a good rotational piece. And I don't know how tall he is, but he had like 2 or 3 blocked kicks in I think it was when he was in Houston. But he's bounced around, and he's just kind of that depth piece, I guess.
I would have rather had Brett Urban. He would have been cheaper, number one, and he had already, established himself here. I thought he played really well against the run, had a couple of sacks. This guy, I mean, if he blocks a field goal kick for us, yay. But other than that, he had 24 tackles and 2.5 sacks last year. Like you said, AC, rotational piece. We already had that guy in Brett Urban, and he costs less money. So, I don't know.
Brett Urban ain't never caught a touchdown, though.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But he played a sweet air guitar, though.
Exactly.
I love the air guitar. I jam out on the air guitar.
No, the Urbans though, the Urbans really did come in and they were like a bright side to the fan piece. You know what I mean?
Favorites.
Yeah, you got his wife like fucking just slamming beers outside, right? And she's like, "Hey, who wants to have a chugging contest mid-game?" And she's playing drinking games and shit. Like, I think she was more of a favorite than Brent was for some of these people, man. And I mean, as crazy as it sounds, you know, it's just that she kind of was. She was real. She was like, I don't give a fuck like how you want me to act. Like, this is how I act. And you know what? Like, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to do. And if I want to go on my balcony and slam 2 fucking Coors Lights together and chug them, that's what I'm going to do, you know, and I'll record it and I'll send it out and I'll let Chicago know, like the Bears team. You got to think like Bears, like media, you know, or like the little media department, like, hey, Brent, can you ask your wife to stop slamming beers on videos like during the game? You know, like, I don't know. I think that'll definitely be missed because it was a bright spot. It was something I thought was hilarious and cool and
it's
just
something
people
you don't see from, you know, the other wild friends of Chicago players. You don't really see them out interacting with people on social media you know, doing things like that. Like you hear Chiefs fans, you know, or non-Chiefs fans, I should say, bitch about Patrick Mahomes' wife.
Yeah,
she's all out on, you know, doing stuff like that. But I think that's good for the team that they have, you know, the spouses of the players are involved in interacting and whatnot. And it's a.
I mean, and she was raffling off
a little bit more than.
Yeah, she was raffling off his jersey and his gloves and donating the stuff to, you know, inner city like schools and inner city needs and that. And I just thought it was a fucking bright spot, man. So who knows? You know, I mean, granted, I'm not gonna if the dude wanted fucking 12 million, I'm not gonna keep him because I thought his wife was cool chugging beers. Like he could fucking bounce the hell out. But right. I'm just saying, like, you know, all in all, I just thought it was pretty cool, man. Mario Edwards. I think all of his charges are dropped now. You know, that's something like, you know, some shit that happened with him. And that was a thing that they were saying they didn't think he was going to be back on the field, right? Dude's personal life, I don't know, is what it is. I mean, people are saying they didn't want him because he had, you know, these charges. Well, now Watson's got these charges and people are like, hey, now's the time to get him. Fucking his stock dropped. You know what I mean? So it all matters on what day of the week it is and whatever, man. But I think Edwards coming back is another, you know, good piece. And I think Desai's got a lot of fucking weapons, man. I think like the main piece that I have a problem with on the defense is Robert Quinn, dude. And you know, I don't know. I just think Quinn, he's getting paid, man. And the cap isn't fluid. The cap, obviously, Kyle Fuller's gone. Like, the cap's not, you can't cover the cap this year. You can't just like move shit and whatever and keep people here. So I don't know, Badge. What do you think on Edwards coming back, man? And is this you know, a piece that we had to keep?
Yeah, I mean, I think they wanted to lock up Mario Edwards in case Akeem Hicks wasn't going to be here. And I think that's why he got a multi-year deal. But I also think that Mario Edwards can be an impact player. So I really hope, you know, he does what he did last season. In all honesty, I thought Mario Edwards and what limited snaps he had, I thought he was excellent. Made impact plays, hit the quarterback, you know, was involved in some turnovers as well, whether it was him recovering a fumble or, you know, whatever the case may be. I think he's a good piece here. You know, I hope the charges are dropped at this point. And he can just now focus on playing football and, you know, continuing his career here in Chicago.
Yeah. I don't think they would have re-signed him if these charges were sticking. I think they would have easily moved on. Mario Edwards, you hit the nail on the head there, Badge. He came in, he did well, and I think they re-signed him to a multi-year deal in case someone actually traded for Akeem. and I'm glad to have Akeem back, as you guys know. But I think Mario is he's a hell of a defensive end, and he plays well in this system. And I think Sean Desai is banking on this front seven getting home because we just lost our best corner. And we have to hope that Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson and those guys learned a thing or two about Kyle Fuller's tape study and his preparation to try and help replace that spot.
Yeah, well, let me do this real quick, and let's get our boy Mr. Ryan Kirkland Billings in here before the fucking bells go off, and this dude's got to jump on engine number whatever. Let's get him in here and see how things are going. KB, what's up, my dude? How you doing, man?
I'm tired as hell. That's how I'm going, man. I came home and I crashed immediately. It was out. So, but other than that, man, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? I had a little time to sleep and mull over things, man. You know, kind of soften up some of these blows that we took. But how y'all boys doing, man? I see my boy Trey Biz in the building, man. What's good, Trey?
What's going on, man? How's everything going?
It's going, bro. It's going. Man,
yeah.
So I see. We talking about a few things, man. Where we standing at right now, man? What's the panic level at, man? Are we in the panic room right now, or we looking at the door? What are we doing?
So here's my thoughts, and I said this at the beginning of the show. I would rather have this right now, the uncertainty of where we are, than a fucking Bears 100 offseason where we're all going to the Super Bowl and everything's fucking gravy and where there's no worries. Because I think we do better, man. I think when we're the underdogs and nobody expects us to do anything, we do better. And when we're the team that thinks that their shit don't stink, we go out there and we get beat down, man. So I don't know. Maybe I'm selling myself on the facts so that I have some belief in this season. I'm totally with you. That's a possibility, but that's just where I'm at, man. I don't think we're as bad off as we all think we are. I think this offensive line came around towards the end of the season, and I think there's a lot of bright spots, right? The worst thing, the thing that I hello Ryan. The thing that I'm most concerned about is the secondary. That's my major concern right now is the secondary. If this team goes into the draft and they decide not to address the offensive line until the 7th fucking round again, and they don't grab a quarterback, my feelings might change here in a little while. But I just think like you made this fucking bed. You know, you did this to yourself. You fucking haven't messed with your offensive line besides undrafted free agents and 7th rounders, and you haven't drafted a quarterback since Mitch. And you know, you made this shit, so now fucking deal with it.
I was just saying how it's incredible that they're getting the opportunity to fix what they made. Like they're right. Actually gonna make it better. Like we all believed at some point, like last season, it was like, okay, this is the one where it's like, all right, it's time to get them up out of here, man. You guys had a nice run. This is it, man. Like we thought Foles was supposed to be their thing to fix the quarterback situation, you know, have a real competition. Then the fact that they were given another chance to fix it, it's like, oh my God, bro, what are we doing here? Yeah. What are we doing here?
Trey, I mean, talk about, just run it down, right? Every pace decision has been to fix a fuck up.
I was gonna say, this feels like we're in a toxic relationship, right? Like in a toxic relationship, usually there's someone that in the relationship, like let's say, you know, they fucking up, they keep fucking up, they're cheating, they're doing whatever the fuck, you know, do whatever they want to do, and we keep thinking things are gonna get better. Right? You know, it's gonna get better. Right, Pace and them, they're gonna fix it. They're gonna get a quarterback this time. Okay, they fucked that up. All right, you know what? They're gonna get one this time. Now they're gonna fix it this time. They fucked that up. Okay, well here we are getting them another chance. Right, here's another chance. You know what? This is gonna be the time that they're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
That's what we call an endless waltz of bullshit. That's what that is, man.
That's what we're in right now. That's what we're in right now.
It's high fives and then pats on that ass, and you turn around. I'm gonna do what I want to go do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the situation that we're in, man.
They give you a little reach around and make you breakfast and everything's straight, right?
Right. And everything's good. Everything's good. That's what you're doing right now.
I'm down for some breakfast.
You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing to me. I got friends that are asking me the same question, man. How are y'all boys still employed? I don't know who
I wish I
has
could
what
tell
dirt.
you.
I don't know if they got pictures of Virginia McCaskey naked, man. I don't know what's going on, bro. At this point, just release the pictures.
Fuckers are in black and white, dog.
They gotta be. They gotta be. I'm pretty sure.
Somebody go get Bobby Mike and take it from him, man. Take Bobby Mike from him. He can't have his mic no more.
In the background.
Let me mute myself. I'm going on 2 minutes of timeout.
You're on timeout.
Bro, the Kyle Fuller deal felt like a slap in the face. You see, he signs a 1-year deal for $9.5 million. You gotta ask yourself the question: what was the actual offer the Bears made? You know what I'm saying? What was the restructure?
Half of what his salary was. It was half of the $20 million.
So he was going to get 10.
Yep.
Maybe Fuller just wanted to leave there. Maybe he saw right on the ball. It's bullshit.
I saw some conversation this morning on Twitter that Kyle Fuller had enough in Chicago and was ready to get out. Whether it's true or not, none of us really have any idea unless he comes out and says it. I doubt he ever will. He's a quiet guy, doesn't really seem to say a whole lot. But I mean, you see some of these moves. I mean, you've seen players on Twitter, Eddie Jackson. I mean, you know, he voiced his displeasure. You saw Adrian Amos fucking put a bunch of laughing emojis out there like, man, I'm fucking glad I'm not there anymore. You know, like,
man, fuck Adrian Amos. Fuck that motherfucker. No. He fucking left Chicago because we wouldn't pay him stupid fucking money to be a strong safety who couldn't catch a goddamn cold. Then he goes up to fucking Wisconsin and signs with those fucks. And he decides, yeah, I'll take a pay cut so you guys can bring other people in here. But he wouldn't do that for the team that drafted him. Fuck him, dude. Fuck Amos.
I was just gonna say, when Eddie Jackson
making plays.
Hey, Badge, when Eddie Jackson put
against
that tweet
Mitch,
he got that phone call. And
right.
Took that shit down, and he deleted that shit immediately.
Yeah. And then he put up, "I love this organization" and shit. I was like,
he got that phone call. It's like, hey man, take that shit down.
hey, Nag, you probably got on the phone with, hey man, what the fuck you doing, dog?
You're gonna make it look like we had culture. We're the epitome of culture in the NFL, and you're going to ruin it, Eddie.
Yeah, I think that makes it look like you do have it, though. I think that makes it look like the bond is tighter than the business. You know what I mean? When dudes react and you know their boy gets let go or something happens, I think you'll always hear players say like, "Oh, well, that's none of my business." You know, if a dude's holding out, everybody's mindset is that's none of my business. You know, I love dude. He's a great player, great teammate. His contract's none of my business. When a dude gets cut, it's the exact opposite, man. Now it's time to talk. Now it's time for people to be like, no, like fuck that, whatever, right? And they start complaining about it. I get it though. I mean, they were fucking probably work out together. They're always in the same room together. You know, in that DB like. I get it. I could see his frustrations, and I think he had the same instant reaction that all of us had as to like, what the hell, right? Like this dude's like one of the centerpieces back there, and how are you just going to let this happen? And I get it, man, and I get they probably did call him because he came back with his head in the fucking Bears ass real quick after like 5 minutes, and he got rid of it,
I thought Angel Bernard just had a really good question there. Do you guys believe the Bears believe in Vilder or Shelley, and that's why they let Fuller walk? I see Eldo's answer, Vilder more than Shelley. I really thought Kendall Vildor played great, once Jalen Johnson went down last year. I think a couple times Duke kind of, didn't look as well. But at the same time, I mean, you line him up one-on-one with Devontae Adams. I don't care who you fucking line up with Devontae Adams. They're not going to win. So, no help over the top, nothing for Duke. But I'm very confident in both of them. That was really both of their first opportunities to get on the field and actually play in the defense. And I thought both of them played pretty well. Vildor a little more than Duke, but I'm confident going in, with seeing Jalen Johnson on one side, Vilder on the other, Duke at nickel, and seeing how we go from there. Personally speaking, but I thought it was a great question, Angel. Guys, if you want to elaborate, feel free.
I was gonna say, man, you kind of skipping over my guy Desmond Trufant that we just went out and signed.
Oh, you claiming him already, huh?
Season last year?
You claiming him?
No,
I'm not. No, you getting some of his AARP or what?
This is all sarcasm. I was
Mr. Pass interference himself.
Man, I feel that you don't make that move unless you're confident in what you got. I feel Kendall Vildor will probably end up being the corner that starts opposite of Jalen Johnson. It's just scary at the fact that we have two starting cornerbacks that didn't make it through an entire season last year. Yeah. You have Trufant, you got Jalen Johnson. We don't really know what the status of Jalen Johnson is. All we know is they said that he didn't require surgery. Like I said, Desmond Trufant didn't make it through the entire season last year. Kendall Vildor is a what, 4th or 5th round pick?
Sixth maybe.
I think you start to look at it, and you have all of these late round picks coming in to start, and you're just hoping that it hits.
Yeah, hey, Brett Kimball. All of us know Vildor and Shelley are not fucking.
Oh yeah,
Fuller, man. That's hands down, right?
I needed to state that.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
I think Shelley brings a different demeanor though than some of these DBs do, right? Shelley plays the person more than he plays the ball. Shelley's one of those dudes who comes up and he'll throw a hit stick on somebody, man. And he showed it on special teams. He showed it on a few plays there. But I also think that, and when we had him on the show, we even talked to him about it. He over pursues. He did it in college. He does it a lot. He'll bite on a fake and he'll over pursue. And he knew that, and he even said going to the cornerback position, because he wasn't a corner in college, but going to the cornerback position, he wanted to learn how to make the sideline be that other defender, and help him out with coverage. And like Badge said, man, you can't put him against Adams. Like he's not going to hold that weight. He needs help. You have to double team. Other teams with better corners than Shelley double team Adams, but we decide to try to island that man. And yeah, he gets embarrassed, man. What else are you going to do? And then on the Vildor side of it, I think they're both bright spots, right? And I think we want them to hit. But I don't think that I think they've shown bright spots, but I don't think they've really shown that they're number ones or that they're starting material.
I was gonna make a comment. I was gonna say I believe that one of our corners that's gonna be starting this year is not on the roster yet. I truly believe that. I do not believe, and I mean, God bless everybody on our team right now. Jalen Johnson got that bad shoulder.
Yeah,
I mean, if it wasn't for that shoulder, absolutely he's a starter. The other guys, I mean, they make plays, but come on now, bro.
Yeah,
come on now. Like there's no way I believe that our other starting corner is on our roster right now. I believe that maybe in the draft, we talked about a little bit earlier, they're probably gonna go get a guy in the draft. I mean, I just don't see it, bro. I really don't. I hope he doesn't make the roster at the training camp. God bless him and his family. He probably got enough money saved up, but no, fuck no. I think that's just a move just to make everybody shut up on Twitter.
Yeah,
go get a corner real quick so they can shut up.
Yeah, I think it was just a quick replacement move. Go ahead, AC.
Yeah, I think they looked at what they have in Vildor and Shelley. Maybe they see something, and like we touched on earlier with this draft class, with corners, they just feel like I guess they're trying to save money, obviously. And I'm assuming they're going to draft a corner, and they like what they got in those two. They feel like they can try to replace some of what Kyle Fuller had for a lot less than $20 million.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't even know what Desai's total defense is going to look like, man. I mean, either way, Kyle Fuller is the biggest loss on this squad right now, and yeah, I agree with Trey. I think we're gonna bring in another DB. We're gonna have another corner in here that has more talent, I'll say, and or a higher ceiling than what we currently have available.
Height.
Yeah, or just taller.
Yeah. I'm curious to see though what Trey Roberson and Xavier Crawford bring to the table. Just because they opted out last year, we didn't really get to see. Obviously, with no preseason, you wouldn't have seen shit anyway. But
right.
I just would like to see. Roberson seemed to play well in the CFL. Obviously, different style. But what does he bring to here? They're keeping those guys around for a reason. I mean, I don't know what the depth chart is right now, obviously, but I don't disagree with you guys that they don't go get somebody else, whether it's free agent draft, to at least push the guys, knowing that, hey, you're going to have to really show something in order to do something here. I don't think they'll go, and not, but even if you look at the safety position, it's not going to be Eddie and Deion Bush, right? I mean,
I hope not.
I can't. They're not. I mean, not having Eddie or not having Eddie, and then who else?
Why hasn't Gibson been re-signed yet?
Yeah,
let's go into that right now, and that's perfect. We got this bottom line here. It's going to tell it, and everybody who's basically either can be brought back or whatever. But our current free agents of people that we have going. I'm going to start with the first one and go with Cordero Patterson. Patterson, is he a wide receiver? Who fucking knows? But he's definitely a kick returner. He's another guy that kind of brings an outside entity to this team. I guess it all depends. We'll just pretend for the sake of it that we can afford what they're asking, right? And if you guys are in the chat, let us know your thoughts on this and who you think we should bring back and who we shouldn't. But let's kick Patterson around the room, man. What do you guys think? Should we bring him back? Does he deserve another chance, or not another chance, but does he deserve to be on the squad? And we'll start with our guest, Mr. Alec Livschultz.
There's no question in my mind he deserves to be back, man. Special teams is a very important factor when it comes to winning football games, and the guy was the best returner we've had since Hester. So, and that's just that. That's one aspect he brings. Even in coverage, he's back there making plays. He's getting back on the football and coverage in special teams.
Yeah,
and even then, with Maggie is like not being a dickhead and deciding to not make him the running back one, but like even like on offense, he makes plays. Like there's a couple plays when Foles like dumped the ball off to him, he got first downs that we needed.
Yeah,
like Patterson is just a playmaker. He has size, he has speed. I mean, if you get the guy back, please do that. Please do that, because I don't want to see whoever the fuck back there doing kick returns. Like I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I agree with Trey. The way he returns, and you see the highlights here, the way he sets you up in good field position more times than not. And it don't matter how deep that ball's going, he's bringing it out. And a lot of times he'll at least gets to the 30, 35. So you're starting out in a better spot than if he would have downed it. And then just like Trey said, I mean, at the gunner position, he's one of the best in the league, if not the best gunner. As soon as a guy, I mean, how many fair catches was caused because Patterson was right there? Because you can't teach speed, and I'd love to see him back. I don't know what it's going to cost. I feel like they kind of gave Effetti his contract.
Yeah.
I think Corderell should be back, just as Trey said in the return game. My only fear of him being back is Nagy is going to want to use him as a running back again. So you're going to see carries taken away from Montgomery. Tariq Cohen is back if he's healthy. Artavius Pierce, I don't think got enough opportunity last season when Tariq Cohen went down to really show what he can do. And that's my only fear. Now, Patterson, you saw in 18? Yeah, in 18, 19, when he was first brought in here, 19, like that Dallas game and the screen pass that went to him that, I mean, he's juking dudes, breaking tackles. It was almost like it was a return. And those are the types of plays that I expected to see him used for. And to see him put in that running back role, I get it. He's a little bit bigger of a guy. He runs upright. To me, there's other guys that do that stuff. Use this guy at what he's good at. Open space. He's fast, breaking away from guys. And in the return game, his special teams contributions are, to me, like nobody else in the league. And I think it'd be a mistake if they don't bring him back, because then you look at your return game without him, and it's Tariq Cohen that now becomes your kick returner, and he's your punt returner anyway, so he was already going to be there. So, I'd rather see Tariq just return punts and then be your, one or two running back, depending on how they look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about the rest of the guys on this list? I mean, I think we all want Patterson to come back. Patterson's another guy that kind of voiced his opinion.
I was going to say if he wants to come back. I mean, you gotta look at what he was saying, man. You start to read, read the writing on the wall, bro. Maybe he doesn't want to come back. Maybe, like I said, he sees the bullshit on the wall too. Why would you want to play for an organization that doesn't seem to have a direction? And that's what we're standing right now as fans. We're looking at this saying that we don't have a direction because we don't see one. I was gonna say, man, as far as everybody else, Deshaun Gibson should have been signed. As soon as you let Fuller walk, there should have been another. We just signed Deshaun Gibson to a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah,
the dude played well last year. He's probably gonna play even better in the size freaking scheme because he's gonna be closer to the line most of the time. That's a big one. You got to look at the Houston Carsons and the Artie Burnses. Maybe you re-sign Artie Burns for a year. When he brought in the challenge for a starting job, I mean, I'm just throwing names out here. Everybody else got names, man. You let me know.
Yeah, well, DHC made some good plays.
Yeah, I like
DHC made a couple of good plays there during the season. I think he ended like 2 games with some pass breakups.
Buccaneers game.
Yeah,
2 interceptions.
That was a huge one because he helped force that fourth down incompletion that Brady was confused about.
Yeah, and then I don't know about Artie Burns, man. I've never seen much out of him. I liked him coming out of the draft, but he just never lived up to his. He never lived up to his draft stock, and I don't know if it's injuries or what. But I mean, if you go to Pittsburgh and they don't love you there, you've done something wrong.
But
another guy I'd like to see back is Sherrick McManus, just from a depth standpoint, because he can play corner, he can play safety, and I mean, we don't even need to talk about his special teams because dude is
special teams demon.
He's legit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, these are the guys that are going to start not flying off the board, right? But these are the guys that are going to start getting signed now. Now that we're in like the second level and soon to be like the third level of free agency, right? And these are the guys that are going to start being the moving pieces, and the depth pieces. And I think we, in general, know what areas we would like to address. And where we need people at. And with some of those guys gone and some of those not bringing some of those guys back, man, there's a lot of spaces still that need to be filled on this team. I don't know how much you guys are keeping track of free agency or who a guy is that you think we absolutely need to actually pursue or go after. But, doesn't matter which position. Same for you, obviously in the chat, if you're in the chat and you got a guy who's your guy. I mean, shit, it's draft season. Everybody's your guy. And I mean, outside of free agency, everybody's your guy and you knew him first until he's a fucking bust and then you don't want to call him anymore. But either way, if you got a person who's a free agent that you think that we should pick up, let us know who he is. And I'll just, kick this thing over to you guys, man. I'm not sure if you guys got anybody, and I know it's kind of off the cuff, but any free agents out there or positions that you want to see addressed immediately?
If time continues to go and these numbers continue,
time will continue to go.
I'm talking about without this dude being signed.
Philosopher. No, okay. Go ahead.
Yo, Trey is right. Somebody's got to take Bobby's mic.
Somebody got to take it from him, man. We repoing it.
This motherfucker. So if we continue to wait and the numbers continue to go down, Alejandro Villanueva, left tackle from the Pittsburgh Steelers, is a guy that I am interested in. He would either push Charles Leno to be better or take his job. Charles Leno is an average left tackle. We've covered it on here. There's other networks that say he's trash, he's garbage, he's a seal, he flops. But if you look at the numbers, he's an average left tackle. You can win with that. But Villanueva, to me, is a better left tackle than Leno, honestly. And it doesn't hurt. Bobby brought it up before that he's a U.S. Army veteran. That scores points with me.
That's just the cherry on top of it, man.
Right.
I just wanted to say, like, what are we doing at wide receiver right now? Obviously, we have A-Rob is on the franchise tag. He signed it. Darnell Mooney, but like the Anthony Miller news, you know, after those three, what are we looking at, right? I mean, something has to happen for sure with that position. Not whether it be in a draft or whether we make a free agent move. I'm not sure what they can get from Miller. If you're lucky, you might get a fifth for him. Maybe
almost like 5th or 6th.
Maybe if you're lucky. I'm not sure who will be willing to take on.
That's what we got for Brandon Marshall. I don't know if Anthony can get to that.
I'm on the Patriots. They need more wide receiver help.
But it's like after A-Rob and Mooney, it's like Javon Williams dropped the worst pass I've ever seen a wide receiver drop in a Chicago Bears uniform in the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
I got a phone call from my dude who don't even watch football. He said, "Man, who is that playing receiver?"
Bro, that was like probably one of the top 3 passes from Mr. Trubisky as far as like accuracy and anticipation and ball placement. That shit was perfect.
Yeah,
that shit was so perfect. You put all 5 of us out there, at least 3 of us would have caught that shit.
Is Riley Ridley a bust?
No, I don't think so. But it's like, why is he in the doghouse? Why is he in the doghouse? What the fuck did he do?
Yeah, supposedly he rolls with Wims and Miller. So I mean, you look at their situations on this roster.
They're from the same hood, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know each other from back home. Of course, they roll together.
Yeah. So apparently, that's the hang up. Is they're not getting from him what they expect from him. Is what I've heard.
So what we had originally heard from other places, I guess you would say, is that Ridley just doesn't comprehend the playbook. Yeah. That he was having tough times doing it, and comprehending, and that he's not on the practice field and on the, in the little scrimmages and that he's not a guy who's out there acting like he wants to take somebody's job. He's a guy who's out there just running the plays, doing his thing. You know how it is. Like, you got guys out there, like everybody's been around football enough. When you got a guy who wants a job, that dude is out there. He's fucking 100 miles an hour on a scrimmage play. And dudes are like, yo, fuck, slow down, dude. And he's like, fuck that. I'm out here to earn my money too. And that's not what they're seeing from Ridley, was what I was told, that he's just not
doesn't play special teams. So
he's kind of just chilling, like, hey, I'm here, and not trying to be his brother, not trying to be the next anything. He's just trying to stay. So Antonio Brown and T.Y. Hilton, I'm not fucking with Antonio Brown. I mean,
yeah.
Antonio Brown.
I just don't think. I think we're going to have a hard time finding a free agent wide receiver to come here. In all honesty, I think it's going to have to be a position that we address in the draft.
Yeah.
Unless you can find somebody that's like, well, shit, this is my only opportunity. All right, I'll take it. But I don't know.
Tony Salamonski. Antonio Brown is Anthony Miller. Antonio Brown's like a 20 plus year Anthony Miller. I think Miller fucking came out of that rookie season so fucking fire though, dude. And then look, if you're like, there's certain times where I really don't care. If you got like some swagger and you talk shit and you back it up, like, good for you, man. Like, I don't mind at all. But I just think that the whole woe is me shit, and they're blaming all this on me. And I mean, if your coach comes out and says that you're cutting your shit short or you're not doing what he expects, there shouldn't be a fight about it. It should be like, well, coach, show me on tape what I'm doing. Not like, well, I'm not doing that. Like, I'd fucking run it exactly how you want me to. Like, that shouldn't be the case. The case should be like, oh, well, how about you coach me on how to do it the way you want it done then, instead of bickering about it. And that's my only issue with them. I mean, I get it. Like, Wim's punching people in the face, like, fuck, whatever. Dudes get fired up, man. And nobody, like, people think that some of these dudes are all professionals. They're athletes. They're not all professional.
Young
athletes.
20s.
Yeah, they're in their young 20s. Some dude talks shit to you. I used to punch people in the face too for that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So I can't knock the dudes for doing it. I get it. There's a different environment, and should they be held to a different standard? Maybe, but like, I don't know, man. There's certain shit you don't let ride, and whatever. So
I was gonna say the issue comes into play when you don't do your job, right? Like, I understand you make mistakes, but your job as a wide receiver is to catch the fucking football.
Right.
Yeah.
At the point when you stop being able to do that, or you can't show that you can't do that, you got to go. It's time. I mean, Miller made plays. He missed a lot of plays as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just trying to scramble for value. They figure they're not going to extend them, so they're like, we might as well see if we get some shit for him now. So that's where they're at with that. He's a professional football player. He could play in this league, but I mean, his time here, again, the getting into it with the coach type thing. Remember, he was in the doghouse. Like, there was a few games where he just wasn't really getting any snaps at all. Like, I believe it was season before last season, not 2020, but the one before that. Yeah, I was like, why the hell is Miller not on the field? Right? Like, we was wondering, like, why is he not on the field? Like, what are we doing right now? Right? But when you get into it with the coach and you're not making plays, you're dropping footballs, and like, you're not running your right routes. Javon Williams is not even worth mentioning. I have no idea why he was still on the team at the incident happening. If he wasn't on the team still, he wouldn't have been able to drop the fucking touchdown. That, by the way, changed the momentum of that Saints game. Dropping that touchdown changed the whole momentum of that Saints game. Mitch is a rhythm player. He probably could have caught fire. He'd be like, all right, come on, boom. We've seen it when he had them games. We have like 4 or 5 6 touchdown games. Like, he's a rhythm player. He starts getting hot. All right, boom. I'm gonna keep going to him. He's catching it. He dropped that football, changed the whole momentum in the game. And I was like, I had to go to get therapy from that shit. Imagine watching your football team get beat on fucking Nickelodeon when they're fucking throwing slime and shit everywhere. You got these little fucking teenage kids that don't even understand football. Brock doing the fucking commentary. I had to call my therapist that day.
I tried to start watching on Nickelodeon. So my 9-year-old son he has no interest in football. He likes to play soccer, but as far as sports go, he could care less. He'd rather watch somebody play video games on YouTube. So I was like, let's try to watch it on Nickelodeon and see if you can like it. And
like, AC, we're sitting here watching our team get scored on. There's fucking slime in the end zone and shit. And he's like, what are we doing right now, man? What
is talking about the MVP, Mr. Trubisky there.
That's bad, man. That's bad.
From every level, bro.
Let's touch on this Nick Foles rumors and that have been the last couple of days. And granted, he'd have to agree to any of this stuff, right? But we'll touch on that, and then we'll probably bounce out of here and kind of keep going from there. But so there's a couple of them. There's one where they got him going back to the Eagles, and there's another one where he's going to the Patriots. And just in case old Cam's arm falls off. So this one, obviously, John Clark, Nick Foles could eventually be traded by the Bears to the Eagles, or the option as a backup for Jalen Hurts. I mean, there's
okay.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, like let's
Good
do
talk,
it.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think there needs to be, and I know we've said it for years, man, there needs to be some, like, if Tyler Bray finds his way on this fucking team again this year, man, I'm going to lose my shit. There needs
he's got to be out of he's got to be out of practice squad eligibility, right?
Dude, he's been on the practice squad for like how many years?
Dude, he was out last year.
Career, dude.
Yeah, like Tyler Bray might have started COVID so that he could stay on the practice squad.
He started COVID. That's a hell of a. Oh my god, bro. He started COVID. So
he was the bat that came out of China.
No, but in all seriousness, what somebody said? I think they say he was the most protected quarterback in the league last year.
Yeah.
Because every fucking week, the Bears protected Tyler Bray from being poached off the practice squad. I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
That's the move we were waiting for.
Yeah.
I mean, we need some youth in here. And why, like, dudes like last year, there was a lot of quarterbacks that were undrafted free agents that were projected to go in like the 5th round, 4th round, later rounds. And they were there when we were picking up, guys that we were
I'm going to say it, man. Like, this shit could have been avoided, right? If we couldn't have because he was already gone, I guess. So never mind. I was going to say, I wanted Jalen Hurts last year, man. Like, I would have loved to have that dude here. I mean, just from, not even from the aspect of his mobility or anything, but I just feel he's a good dude. Like,
he was the winner at 2 major college programs.
He's a winner. I mean, he was at Alabama, right? And then he leaves Alabama, goes to Oklahoma. Everybody said he couldn't throw the football. Look what the dude does. Puts up 50 TDs. Like, I mean, the guy can adapt. And to me, you're going to need to adapt in this fucking shit show of an offense that is run here by Matt Nagy and his fucking cronies. Because
if you want to be honest,
that's all I've seen over 3 years. You know,
what the offense would have been because we need a playmaker back there.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what the
is Sutterfield still on the Eagles as a backup?
I think he got. I don't know.
Sutterfield.
I want to say he's not there anymore.
Yeah, I think he got released.
Hurt's gonna be all right, man. They're gonna get him Jamar Chase, and he's just gonna have the time of his life out there in Philly.
Yeah, man.
He's gonna get the best wide receiver in the draft and have the time of his life next year.
Or Devontae Smith.
Yeah, one of those two dudes, man.
Sutfield selling cars.
There's just so many things you go back to. Well, but even like, here's my thing with this is I don't want to see a quarterback brought in here familiar with any of these guys because we've been down that road before. Like, and it doesn't work.
They don't seem to want to
Andy
make
Dalton
the move.
now, who's familiar with Laser. Well, Laser was the guy last year who kind of put an offense on the field that was somewhat competent. You haven't seen Matt Nagy put competency on the field. Christ almighty, they don't even have competency with their personnel. Switching guys out, Montgomery makes a big run, boom, it's somebody else in for him. Well, wait a minute. If he's getting going, if he's feeling it, makes him leave his ass in the game. Let him get something going. Maybe he, I don't know. Shit, I could be here all afternoon bitching about these motherfuckers.
Hey, Bad said we need an unfamiliar motherfucker in here. We don't need him. We need somebody who's very unfamiliar with these coaches. Forget familiar people. We need an unfamiliar motherfucker in here.
Yeah.
Well, we all know, and just for Don Burr there in the chat, who's been in there popping his mouth off, we all know Goff's going to retire next year. Because nobody fucking goes to Detroit and actually wants to stay there.
He's gonna make them better, man.
Yeah, and I don't know who the fuck wants Chase Daniel. I don't think anybody wants fucking Chase Daniels. But
I was gonna say the Lions. They put out that video about Matt Stafford. I was like, man, bro, he literally, man, he tried his best to put that team on his back. And it wasn't for lack of talent either. That motherfucker is a quarterback. And the fact that y'all couldn't win with him it says a lot about that organization. Because if we would have had Matt Stafford, man, please.
Oh, dude,
man, please.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Stafford come here. I really, when they said that we were in, I was like, fuck, I'll take him for a couple of years.
Yeah, I was a gamer, man. He got up off that. He got that shoulder injury and came back in the game.
Oh, dude,
like the dude different, man. They don't make him like that no more.
We're just so dysfunctional, man. if we had the quarterback or a decent quarterback in Jay Cutler, and his number one wide receiver was Devin Hester, a converted cornerback who they were hoping. So, like,
that he couldn't get the ball to because his O-line was fucking 5 cardboard cutouts.
Yeah. Again, you want to talk about Leno being trash? Do y'all remember Jamarcus Webb? Come on, bro.
No, we're not doing that today, bro. We're not opening up that wound. All right, not today. Well, that motherfucker couldn't put his shoes on the right foot. Like,
by everybody else's stance, man. By everybody else's stance, Leno was supposed to be cut a long time ago, and here he sits still on the squad. I think Leno's just the picking point, right? He's the guy who he's the point and blame at this guy. And when you look at everything, and when you like look at where he falls out in the NFL, granted he's not top tier, right? But he's better than anything that's out there right now. So in order to try and say that he needs to be cut right away, I think it's just stupidity, man. Like it's that's your personal your personal dislike to the dude, and it's not anything that makes any football fucking sense whatsoever.
No, not until you guys replacement. You don't cut players without their replacement, which is why that Kyle Fuller move is illogical. But whatever.
I mean, yeah, just gonna cut him and sign somebody else though. You know what I'm saying? That's what the going rate is apparently. If I cut you, I'm gonna sign this guy right away. And I'm not gonna sit and wait on the market at all.
Look, we're gonna take your Ferrari away, but here's a Toyota Camry, right?
Me.
With two different colored doors.
Here's a fucking Vespa.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's wrap this thing up, man. I don't know if we really have shout outs. Let's just do a quick one to Mr. Mike Schaefer. Mike couldn't join us this morning because it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Mike, old Magic Mike, whatever the hell we're calling your ass now. Happy birthday to you, man. Hope you enjoy your day. And then we're gonna see how this thing goes from here on out. If we have any breaking news, whatever in the next couple of days. I mean, on the second and third tier of everything, I don't know how we would unless it's like a Foles trade or something crazy happens, right? But we'll just hop in and kick it live and go from there. I think we got a trivia thing coming up, Badge, for that little competition. Let's just kick it around the room and do whatever you got. Badge, over to you, man. What you got?
Yeah, everybody in the chat, man, except for Don. These Lions fans. Goff's gonna beat us twice. Who the fuck's he got around him? I'm just kidding, Don. I love seeing Lions fan talk shit just to eat crow fucking twice a year. So kudos to you, man. Guys, Trey, man, absolutely awesome to have you on with us, man. Miss being able to freaking kick it with you, man, during the season, and it's always a blast. Nice to have KB with us, even though he's a tired motherfucker, but hey, it's all good, man. And we're gonna do a little trivia thing probably next week. We got one more person that we need to get some trivia questions to, and then probably on the draft show is when we'll do a little competition between our two competitors. And the winner will take home a signed Allen Robinson football. So good luck to, we'll see what we can get for trivia. So Trey, thank you for coming on, man. And guys, it's always fun to kick it week over week.
Absolutely, man. KB, what you got, dude?
Man, shout out to the guests, man. I know I hit you up, man. I jumped on late, so that's my bad. Shout out to our boy Mike, man. You know what I'm saying? He out there getting breakfast in bed while he butt ass naked. So
with a reach around, though.
Right,
getting the reach around.
Yeah, but I mean, man, it's gonna be a different off season, man. We just kind of gotta buckle down and prepare for things, fellas. So I mean, we're here for it. It's like you said before, man. We can make it through bad seasons. We can make it through this bullshit too. So just stick with us, fans. Stick with us.
Absolutely. AC, over to you, dude. What you got?
Just like y'all said, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Definitely shout out to Trey Busy. As soon as I saw you tweet, I was like, hey, man, you want to come on the show Sunday and blow off some steam? I guess you was streaming or something. You was like, nah, I ain't going to answer this motherfucker. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat.
I told you he was live on Twitch, killing people, murdering people in the game right now. So you gotta have to hit him up later.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all are on TikTok or not. Follow Trey Busy on there. He's surgical with that sniper, bro. I'm telling you.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. For real, appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for coming in, man. You know, it's all love, and it's so funny. I think I remember seeing you guys mentions, but my shit was moving so fast because I was on a tear that day. If you remember that day, I was on a tear. I was furious. Like I was furious, and I literally said all that shit, then got off. Yeah, but I would say, man, like it's always fun to come talk football with you guys, man. You know, I come on, man. I'm down to have the conversation. We talk about just about anything. You guys know that. Yeah. I saw somebody in the chat. Tony Simoneski said Mike Fury played in the Arena League and not the NFL. No, Mike played in the NFL. Mike Fury played for the Rams and he played for the Lions. He played safety for the Rams. He made some great plays for them. You know, he got a few interceptions, but he also was a great wide receiver as well. He's an underrated wide receiver. I think he led the NFL in receptions in 2006 or something like that. Mike Fury is a gamer for sure. Like he wasn't in the Arena Football League. He played in the NFL. You know, that motherfucker is jacked as shit too, man. So don't you be careful talking about. I think he follows me on Twitter, so I don't say nothing too bad.
Yeah. That's a good decision, bro.
Oh man, but yeah, shout out to the bar room, man. You know, like I said, I'm always available to come back and talk football with you guys, man. It's just like Bobby said, man. I be on Twitch now streaming, man. I be on there dropping kids on Warzone.
I know that shit's awesome, man.
Dropping kids.
I love watching the highlights. Take off out of here. I definitely got to get that gamer tag so we can link.
Oh, for sure, man. It's I mean, you know, it's Trey Busy.
Yeah,
it's Trey Busy.
Hell yeah. Well, absolutely, Trey. You know, you're always welcome, dude. We appreciate everything. Hopefully, I don't know if there's going to be a camp this year. Hopefully, some of this, this COVID shit allows for some of that stuff, man. And they've already said they're letting Sox fans and Cubs fans back in the stadium this year. So maybe we'll get lucky and catch a game next year in Chicago with our Bears. But we greatly appreciate you coming on, man, and everything that you do, and just the constant interaction, man. True dude, like one of the best ones out there, man. If you guys aren't following, you know, Trey Busy, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, man. I mean, he'll give you bulls, he'll give you everything, man. It's just all the way around. And he was actually, weren't you? I mean, I know I've got to go off here, but weren't you actually the Bulls fan of the something or like that?
So like earlier in the season, I was like the Bulls NBC Bulls fan of the week.
Yeah.
And so like whatever the fuck.
They must not be reading them tweets though, because
oh no, they see my tweets. Like they actually they mention me and they send me a couple DMs like, hey man, you know, because one thing about me is like I like to stir the pot a little bit, right? They posted a picture of Michael Jordan next to Zach LaVine, like saying it was just 2 best scoring months or something like that, or 2 best Bulls scoring streaks, whatever, and I had said it's the best shooting guard in Bulls history, and some guy with a gambling problem, and then just to piss everybody.
That's fucking awesome.
just to piss everybody off. There was so many mad people at me, man. I like stirring the pot sometimes. This is hilarious.
I take that personally.
People get all up in their feelings, man.
The guy that owns the Hornets, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. All right, everybody in the chat, we appreciate you joining us, and you know, week in and week out, and even at this, you know, time of the season where we're kind of, you know, things are going to be like this the whole way, man. We're going to be up and down. We're going to have some instant reactions, and then we're going to come back the next week and tell you, or try to at least see how it's not going to be that bad. But we'll fucking see, man. Everybody out there, thank you once again, Trey. Thanks, dude, and boys. Appreciate everything, and we'll leave you all with a big old bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.